I am muted. Thank you so much for that. What a fucking start. Welcome back, guys. We are live. This is not something we normally do. If you happen to tune in and watch this while it's streaming live, I do appreciate you guys for being here. My name is Aaron Knoll. Welcome back to the Movie Battleground. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of time off. I hope you guys enjoyed your families over the holidays. But we are back at it with a match that was supposed to go up a week ago. This is the first of our three exhibition matches that we had planned. We had a Christmas match, a Harry Potter match, and a 2021 in film match. The Wizarding World match and the 2021 in film match are supposed to go up tomorrow and Thursday. Those thankfully were recorded on time and will go up edited as planned. But we had a couple of instances with kind of getting this match recorded. Some of you guys will notice that Movie Battleground went completely dead radio silent over the last couple of weeks, so much so that we had a match go up that I failed to do zero promotion for, featuring a gentleman who is here with us tonight, Joe Fairley versus Chad Webb. That match went up on December 18th as it was planned to. I've been sick over the last couple of weeks. Initially, based on the symptoms, I was worried it was COVID. Thankfully, after 2 tests proving that it wasn't, thank God, because that could have been so much worse. It was just a normal stomach bug, and I was able to kind of get over it and finally start feeling like myself over the last couple of days. And that is when I realized I did not promote this match. So first things first, shout out to those of you who watched that match, Joe versus Chad. Because it honestly did pretty well in views. I mean, it's not the highest viewed match ever, but it did pretty well, all things considered. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the man who did a lot of heavy lifting behind this match to kind of get it going first. He is a man who absolutely loves holiday films. You can call him Santa Claus. You can call him Mr. Webb. You can call him Chad Kringle, as he writes. Mr. Chad Webb, how's it going, sir?
Ho, ho, ho. Christmas may be over, but the Christmas spirit still lingers in our hearts. How's it going, Aaron?
Good. There's like 12 days of Christmas, right? There's like a day where you get 5 birds and a bunch of chocolates. So we're in
Something
that
like
period.
that.
We're in that period, right?
Yeah. Not over till New Year.
I haven't heard the song in a long time. I don't know how it goes. No, it's good to have you here. And so this match was originally, first off, not meant to be live. Second, it was meant to be much, much bigger. So Chad is somebody who is very clearly, I'm going to assume, loves the holidays. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, very much so.
And so initially he vested interest in playing the match just by way of me trying to spread the exhibitions around to different people. He wasn't selected as a player. But I then reached out to him because I knew how much he loved it. His match versus Joe, I gave a holiday question to, coincidentally, because it was the last match that was going up before Christmas. And I just know from speaking with him about that he just really loved having that question. And so I offered him the opportunity to actually write this match and kind of produce it a little bit behind the scenes with me. And once we get going, he's going to take over the hosting aspect. He's going to be the one speaking to the competitors between rounds and kind of running the show in that sense. So first off, Chad, thank you for doing this because you did do a lot of the heavy lifting behind getting this here. But unfortunately, the match was not meant to be as intended. We do have 2 great competitors tonight behind the scenes in Jacob Barber and Brian Nussbaum. I will bring them in just a second. We were meant to have a third in Kevin Poss, and these 3 gentlemen actually did me a great favor because Chad, who loves the holidays and did so much more than I asked, wrote like double the questions of what we needed. So we were going to use this match to actually test out the proper triple threat format, not the abridged one that will be in the other 2 exhibition matches, but the full on, if this was a for your records match, we were going to do a 3-way exhibition. That we would have actually given a win or a loss to the competitors' records because, the winner, for agreeing to take on double the amount of questions they would have, deserved a little extra something for that. Unfortunately, Kevin's been under the weather. Between him being under the weather and me being sick last week, this is why the match was actually pushed and didn't make its upload time like it should have. And Kevin, without going into details because that's his to talk about, he continues to be sick. Those of you who pay attention to his picture-in-picture trivia know that also got delayed due to his current feeling at the moment. So first off, I wish him the best, and I hope that he gets better, certainly, because we want him to be back with us. But because of that, we have decided to kind of shrink down the match. This will be a 3-question exhibition. First to 2 points wins, and I don't think there's much more to be said than that. Chad, I'll let you start by introducing our competitors, and why don't we start with our rookie?
All right. So is that which one is that?
That'd be Brian.
Okay, that's right.
This is the live part, guys.
Sorry about that. We'll bring in Brian Nussbaum. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
What's up, Brian? How's it going?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Talk about Christmas films. One of my favorite holidays. Did some trivia this past few weeks. Even beat you, Chad, in one of the recent Christmas matches. Part of Jake's trivia. So good to be here.
Boy, yeah. If this boy knows anything, it's Christmas trivia. I thought I had a lot of knowledge, but Brian, yeah, he knows quite a bit. So I'm excited to see what you can bring to the table. Do you get a chance to prepare a lot?
Yes, I have. One of the questions that was previously asked for this one, I rewatched, but threw it off the table for this one. So.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's just the way it went. I'm sad to see some of those questions go as well. It really sucks when you have like so much to prepare for, and then you get really excited about it, and then you just don't get to speak on those.
And for what it's worth, production wise, I will throw out there because Chad was gracious enough to write all the questions that aren't getting used. They will be used. Based on what's already been recorded and what we are beginning to record starting with the new year, you will see those questions show up like sometime mid-February, truthfully, but they are going to be used in a few of our upcoming matches. So that way nothing goes to waste from this match.
Sounds good.
But Brian, thank you for being here, sir. I'm going to go ahead and send you to the back for just a moment as Chad introduces our next competitor.
All right. Next competitor is Jacob Barber. How's it going, sir?
It's going. Well, let's get that competitive record off of there. That's unnecessary. This is supposed to be for fun.
It is. This is the fun part for me.
Yeah. 0-1 is not fun.
Well, let's this isn't for record, but let's see if you can show something today. Have you been able to prepare quite a bit for this one?
Oh, the reason so we each got to choose a question to keep. I'll put that out there. And so I picked the question I was most prepared for.
Nice.
So I did some preparing. December is a busy month. For whatever reason. I don't know. I did some preparing. I knew this was an exhibition also for record though, but I knew it was just for fun. So like I didn't, try to rack my brain with preparation, but I do feel, stop it. I watched The Long Kiss Goodnight for no reason now. And I'm probably more irritated. Like, I get that Kevin's sick. And once he's better, he will hear from me. But no, I'm looking to have fun. These are great questions, and yeah, just here to have a good time now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring Brian in. Chad, if you want to do the rules, I'll put the thing up on there, but no shame if you can't keep up with it. More than one host has tried to do this by just simply reading it, and it just goes too quickly. just wing
probably it. Me too.
just wing it. You've done this before. You have an idea of how this works. Here we go. Here's the first one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a set of 3 questions. It's best 2 out of 3. If one person happens to get 2 points, ignore the slide. The numbers are wrong. If someone happens to get 2 points in a row, they will win the match outright. If not, and it becomes 1-1, then we'll go to the third question. And that's pretty much how that match work. The entire match will work. So
yeah.
There's no speed round or blind round.
Here's the rules that matter.
Yes. So we're going to start out. Each competitor will start, and they'll have a 60-second opening argument. You'll introduce your topic, maybe throw out a couple key points. But then stage 2, you're going to have 2 minutes solo pitch. So you're going to actually be able to scrap and just like basically, really flesh out your argument there. Then you're going to get 4 minutes debate between each other, and you're going to be able to, as best as you can, maybe not yell it over each other, but back and forth debate. And then you're going to have 1 minute of a closing round where you get to basically just wrap everything up with a neat little Christmas bow, and present it to me because I'm the only judge.
I see what you did there.
Yes, that's the other thing with this. We decided at the last minute, also because we had another judge under the weather, make it known that they might not be available to be here. Thank you to anyone, whether it was for the first recording or the second, who signed up to help us. But we made a decision behind the scenes, again, because it's an exhibition that is just simply for fun. It's shortened. We just decided to forego the multiple judges. It will be one judge. It will be Chad deciding. And thankfully, I know from speaking behind the scenes that the questions were written and there is a level of impartiality here with the questions. So even though it's just one person, don't feel too bad about yourselves if you don't get the point.
Did you get my PayPal?
No, I got Cash App.
No, I'm talking to Chad. Chad, you
pay me and then I tell him.
I haven't checked.
Okay, you should check that.
All right. So for one last time, Chad, Jacob, Brian, thank you guys so much for being here. And I won't do it when you're debating, I promise. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and disappear myself to the back. Chad, you got it from here. Since we're live and we're kind of wearing all the tech side on our sleeve tonight, if you need anything, just ask. Don't freeze up. And
you're doing the timer, right? So.
Oh, I have the timer. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and go to the back. You know what order the questions are in, right? I did tell you that.
Yes.
I didn't.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. You guys will see. I'm very bad at prompting other people who are helping me host.
Wait.
There's a match coming up where, again, graciously, Kevin hosted for me, and multiple times we had to stop because I did not inform him of something. It was a rough go of it. So, are you messaging me? I don't have everything. I don't have anything open. Yes, and yes.
Cool.
All right, guys. I'm going to go to the back. Chad, I'm here if you need me. Guys, enjoy the match.
All right. Sounds great. So we're going to start with the first question is actually going to be kind of a big one. This one is what is the best Christmas film of all time? This is a big one. There's a lot of great ones out there. Let's see what these boys have to say. And we're going to start with Brian on this one. And so, Brian, you can start your minute when you begin speaking.
Okay. There's been many films to talk about that are my favorites. There's a few. But for me, I'm going to go with Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I mean, people are not a big fan of this film, but I am. I love the location where it's set in, New York City. More Christmassy. You got your cast back in this film. You got Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci playing their roles, and you got some new people with Welsh Snyder, the great Tim Curry in this film, and even Brendan Fraser coming as Burley. So Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I yield my time.
All right, Brian yields his time. Are we going to wait for the? We'll wait the. Oh, look, there you go. 5 seconds. And then Jacob, if you want to go ahead and start, your minute starts when you begin speaking.
So when I think of Christmas, I think of two people. First, I think of Jesus because tis the reason for the season, and then I think of Santa because who better to think of at Christmas than Santa? And so my pick is 1994's The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen. And, I'm just going to introduce the movie and we'll call it there. I'll get more into it later.
All right. Well, there we go. That's the first stage, and then we will go into the 2-minute flesh outs, and that will begin with Brian whenever he begins speaking.
Okay. Home Alone 2, I find more enjoyable than Santa Claus. The Santa Claus is not the best one of the series. People resonate more with the second one than the first one. Home Alone 2, people enjoy more. They find more enjoyable than the first one. The first one, people not a big fan of. People enjoy the first one, but when people go back to it, they think of Home Alone 2 or Home Alone 1. And Home Alone 2 is far superior, more fun. You got more of the chaps with the hair bar be killed for some to get killed, but the Santa Claus, it's okay film. The second one is much more superior than it. My time.
All right. That's a good amount of time to yield, but that's okay, Brian. He feels very confident about this. I guess we're waiting for that time to yes.
Turn your cam off when they're speaking, and then turn it back on when you judge.
Apologies. Sure.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
We'll do it live, guys.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live, but without the political commentary.
All right. Well, Jacob's 2-minute will start when he speaks.
Christmas, more than anything, is about family. It's about spending time with your family, spending time with your loved ones. And what better way to show that than in the Santa Claus, which you get Tim Allen as Scott Calvin, and in the beginning of the film doesn't really show that he cares for his son too much. But then a little thing happens. Santa Claus falls down, goes boom boom, and Scott Calvin puts on the coat and becomes Santa Claus, and that is such a good memory for his son. And then they just go on this journey throughout the year where Scott Calvin really becomes Santa Claus. It really brings home the family aspect, because not only is the child a child of divorce, it shows that co-parenting can be a real thing, even though at times they can butt heads. And what better time to start co-parenting than at Christmas? Because as a kid who's been through it, you want your parents to at least get along. And this shows that Christmas can bring people together. You don't get that in Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 brings families apart, which is why Kevin is not with his family for the second time, because he has terrible parents. Santa Claus 2 is more enjoyable. It's funnier. The reindeer are, especially Comet. Comet is so charming. I'll just let the time end, and once we start debating, I'll really get into why I think Santa Claus is the superior Christmas film over Home Alone 2.
All right. Well, that's some seating of the time there. So we will get into stage 3 with the 4 minutes as soon as the clock starts. Or as soon as the first person starts speaking, that's when the clock will start.
See, it doesn't really matter if Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone, which, by the way, it's not, because Santa Claus is better than both of them. Santa Claus really hammers home that family aspect. That even though you can be in 2 different households, you can still be a family. And this spawned a franchise where, like you said, with Santa Claus 2, it's nearly on par with this movie. Home Alone, 2, like maybe it peaked, and that's where it should have ended. It's kind of been brought down by others in the franchise. It was a good 1-2, should have stopped. But it also, with this movie, you start rooting for the bandits. Kevin's kind of a dick.
Well, he is because he's trying to save a toy store from being robbed by bandits.
By murdering them?
try to set traps for them, try to save the day. He's more of a character in the second one than the first one. The first one they forget on purpose. The second one they find him at the airport. He knows he's there. But the Santa Claus is like the parents are like more of a dick to Scott than like trying to get more custody than to Charlie.
Welcome to divorce.
Well, they don't believe at all. And Home Alone 2, you get more humor and more fun aspects. And more, that's all I'm saying.
Home Alone 2 is remembered fondly because of Tim Curry, rightfully so.
You get more of a location. You get more location than Chicago for the second one.
And exactly that's the thing. This thing is called Home Alone. He's not even home. He's in a city on vacation still, having the time of his life. Are we supposed to feel sorry for this kid? Are we supposed to, he doesn't want to be back with his parents. He's having the time of his life.
Well, Santa Claus. Well, for Home Alone, you get he's not home, but he's in a hotel, so he is sort of home alone. So
the reason The Santa Claus is a superior film is also because it centers around Christmas. It's not just set at Christmas. It's about Scott Calvin really becoming Santa and just epitomizing everything about Christmas. He makes Judge Reinhold a believer. He makes his ex-wife a believer. The belief in Santa Claus. And you know why my movie wins? It's got David Krumholtz in it.
I felt it has Tim Curry in his greatest role ever.
I didn't know you were talking about Rocky Horror.
No, people love Tim Curry more in Home Alone 2 than Rocky Horror.
I mean, that's also debatable, but that's not what we're debating here. So, no, Home Alone 2 is about a kid who, is trying to murder people. That's what he's trying to do. You can say he's trying to save a toy store. Yeah, fine. Admirable. Cops aren't a thing in New York. I'm pretty sure cops are a thing in New York. You don't have to go around trying to murder people. Santa Claus is, everything Christmas is about. And Tim Allen as Scott Calvin and Santa Claus is the perfect holiday film.
Well, Santa Claus is the worst. I would say the second best Santa Claus film. First one, second was more funner and Home Alone 2.
And if the first one doesn't succeed and do what it needs to, there is no second.
True. Good. That's a good point, but that's a good point of any of my time right there.
All right. Well, that's the end of the back and forth round. So we will go ahead and start our closing statements here with 1 minute each.
By the way, I had so much prepared for It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm so irritated I don't get to use any of it.
Oh, well, sorry. All right. Well, we'll start with Brian, I believe, since he started the whole thing. So when you're ready, you get a minute to close it out.
Home Alone 2, far superior than Santa Claus, more enjoyable, much more funner than Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a fine film, not the best, not the second best in the series, and Home Alone 2 more superior.
Is that a concession of time?
Yep.
Okay.
No, just keep it going because I probably won't use. Oh, never mind. We'll do it live.
All right. Well, as soon as the clock runs down, you can begin.
Listen, I needed to reset so that it resets for the next round. All right. I appreciate what you were trying to do.
And you're good to go, Jacob.
It's like I said in the beginning. When you think of Christmas, you think of two people, and one of those is Santa Claus. And whether it's, the Santa Claus is coming to town, but that's a short film and doesn't qualify. We're talking Santa Claus. We're talking Tim Allen. We're talking an iconic character that is still talked about to this day. And it all started with the Santa Claus in 1994. It showed that, families can get along at Christmas time, even though they're separated. It showed that someone as bitter as Tim Allen is, as Scott Calvin, can even come around to the idea of Christmas. It shows that even as adults, we can still be believers in something that is so childlike. It's an uplifting movie. It's heartwarming. It's charming. It's funny. Ticks all the boxes that you need for, the best Christmas film. You can watch it with your families, and I don't have to explain to anyone. No, he's not trying to kill him. He's just trying to save a toy store.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this one. I'll go ahead and judge it. All right. So I'll try to keep this brief, but I think it's just unfortunately just the way this goes. I heard like way too much opinion from Brian, where I loved hearing that the Santa Claus 2 was better than the Santa Claus. Even I don't agree personally, but I wanted to hear more about why of kind of like taking down the Santa Claus. But I heard like so much from, and I also loved hearing about Home Alone 2 and it's bigger, it's more fun, the traps are better. But then Jacob had a really brilliant point talking about how Christmas is about family. He's separated from his family. He's not even home. The movie's called Home Alone. And he talked about how, Scott Calvin becoming Santa Claus actually brings the family together, makes people believe in Christmas. And, he just really sold me on a lot of that. And I just needed to hear a little bit more about Home Alone 2, about why it's the better film, I guess. So I would go with Jacob on this point. So I guess we'll get into question number 2 with that, and get down to it. All right, this one is going to be a little fun. So this one is, who is the best Christmas villain in a Christmas film? There we go. Who's the greatest villain in the Christmas film? Forgot how the wording. This one, we're actually going to have Jacob go first. So when you're ready, you have a minute to open.
All right. So I'm going to rephrase the question to, who are the greatest villains in a Christmas film? And I've got 2 words to answer that. Wet bandits. From the original Home Alone back in 1990, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not good with dates. These villains are just fun. You see it from the beginning of the movie with Joe Pesci playing a cop in the home, and then Daniel Stern later on, and just the hijinks they get into, and and this is the movie you're actually rooting against them when it comes to their battle with Kevin. I call it a battle, but it's a kid. Anyway, just the stuff that they get into, the traps that they fall into, and just their performances overall are outstanding in this, and you're actually rooting against them. And what better villain than someone who's trying to take someone's Christmas?
Nice. Okay. So now we get to Brian.
It was 1990. You were correct.
Ha!
All right. So yeah, now we'll get Brian to go ahead and have his minute whenever you begin speaking.
Let me take you back to a year 2000, where they're making a movie based on the story. It's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You got Jim Carrey playing the Grinch, but in his powers. You got see how he hates Christmas. You see his whole backstory as a baby, then to a child, then to adult. See how he hated Christmas ever since he was a child, and Jim Carrey is the greatest. One of the best performances in his Christmas film, and that'll be my time for now.
All right. Strong openers, guys. So now we'll go ahead and you will have a 2-minute flush out, and Jacob will start that whenever he begins speaking.
The reason the Wet Bandits are the greatest villains in a Christmas film is because they are doing the downright most despicable thing you can do during Christmas, and that's just stealing their Christmas. Waiting for somebody to leave on a vacation in a super nice home, and just taking everything from them at a time when people are supposed to be brought together. So the reason the Grinch isn't the greatest, and I want to spend some time on this, is the Grinch didn't hate Christmas. The Grinch hated people, and that's totally understandable, especially around the holiday times. Have you seen how the Who's act during Christmas? They are unbearable. The Grinch had it right by living up on top of a mountain. The Wet Bandits, super funny. Joe Pesci in a role where he's got The Irishman, he's got Goodfellas, he's got Home Alone. And it's not a role you think of when you think of Joe Pesci normally, but then you watch him and he is just so good as this character. You see Daniel Stern and he is so good as this character. The facial expressions they're able to give off, just everything about them, and just they really start to hate this kid, and you feel it coming off the screen. I personally wouldn't even call the Grinch a villain, but I'm going to save that because we still have to debate back and forth. So, I'll concede my time here. Brian, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say.
All right. So that's ceding of that time, and we will give Brian 2 minutes when he begins speaking.
Okay. As you said, the Red Bandits are great villains, but they're obsessed over this house who has like all 4 flowers over the houses. For the Grinch, you could show why he hates Christmas. You can see even when he went to the holiday cheermeister festival, he liked Christmas. Then afterward, ever since the mayor made the announcement about proposing interrupting his time, shows why he wants to steal Christmas, and let's see. For the Red Bandits, they were great villains in the film, yes, but let's talk about more in the next round.
All right, I guess that's some ceding of the time there. And then we will go and do a 4-minute when we get the timer set, and it'll begin whenever the first person who wants to speak speaks.
You said it yourself. The Grinch was the holiday cheermeister. He was ready. He was willing to give Christmas a second chance. You want to know who the real villain of the Grinch is? It's the mayor. Because the mayor only cared about himself. He didn't want the Grinch to be there. The Grinch was ready to give Christmas a second chance.
Well, for the Red Bandits, they were overprotective in this house, and they knew they want. And for the Grinch, you could tell like in his performance that he wants to steal Christmas, and he knew his girl was taken from him ever since he was a child, and wants to get back and steal everyone's Christmas for everyone to make them feel miserable. But at the end, you could tell he loves Christmas at the end.
Yeah, he's not a villain. I will argue that the Grinch is not a villain. He's just a guy who has, made some choices and also had some choices made for him. He did not want to hate Christmas. Kids were making fun of him because of the way he looked. If anything, we should sympathize with the Grinch. You don't sympathize with villains. I didn't sympathize with the Wet Bandits when they were, putting their hands on a hot doorknob or, slipping down ice on the staircase. I wanted the Grinch to steal Christmas because I think the Who's deserved it, especially after what happened with the whole holiday cheermeister thing. And what happens after he steals Christmas? He has a change of heart, and he wants to give it back. Because who's the real villain? The mayor. The mayor wanted him arrested even after doing good. The mayor doesn't care about anything. The mayor is the villain of the Grinch. The Grinch is just a misunderstood person.
But the question is who the greatest villain, not the villain of the film. The question is who is the greatest villain.
And the Grinch isn't a villain.
He is because he is actually he steals Christmas from everyone, and after being made fun of by the whole town, wants to get revenge on them.
He wasn't made fun of by the whole town, though. The town was having fun with him. They weren't making fun of. The only one that had a problem with him was the mayor. The mayor did not want him there. Cindy Lou Who tried everything in her power to show that the Grinch was good, and she was succeeding, and the mayor did not like that.
And also, that's true, but for the Red Bandits, yes, they're a great villain, but they're more cartoony. This is more of an actual character. They're more cartoony villain.
You're going to talk cartoony villains when talking and say the Grinch, played by Jim Carrey, is not cartoony. Everything about him is cartoony. And you needed a cartoony villain in Home Alone to go up against a 10-year-old. You're not going to believe you're not going to, take a movie seriously when a 10-year-old is going up against like a Hans Gruber type villain. They need to be cartoony. It needs to be fun. It's supposed to be for families. You're not going to have a serious villain in Home Alone.
Exactly. So I'm going to get my time right there. So.
Well, I will just continue to say then that the reason I believe the mayor is the villain of the film and not the Grinch is because the mayor is also, he's so self-centered. Everything needs to be for him. The Grinch was taken away from people, not for himself, but to teach them a lesson, to teach them that, you don't need all these material things to provide your self-worth. You just need people. You just need to be together. And I think the Grinch proved that. The Grinch turns out to be the hero of the story, whereas the Wet Bandits, not so much.
All right, well, that ends the time there for the 4 minutes, and we will go into closing arguments, starting with Jacob when he begins speaking.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I've said it, and it's just going to sound like I'm beating a dead horse. I don't think the Grinch is the villain of his movie. I really don't. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's the carbonation. He's a good guy at heart, just going through a hard time. The Wet Bandits are just evil people trying to steal, and then they try to attack a 10-year-old kid who gets the better of them. If you don't want that fun and zany in a Christmas movie, I don't know what you want at Christmas. It's a family film for the whole family. Jim Carrey, as great as he is, this isn't his best. He does, have some cringy lines, and there's some cringy dialogue and some cringy back and forth with some of the townspeople. But, overall, the Wet Bandits are the superior villain because at the end of the day, you're not rooting for them, whereas you kind of are rooting for the Grinch and you want him to succeed.
All right. And now Brian will get his final minute to close when he starts speaking.
I'm also going to Shorper Street. Red Bandits, obsessed with the house with flowers, which you sympathize for him as he try to get revenge town that made fun of him as a child and get him back, try and get him back.
Is that concession of time?
Yes.
All right. So concession of time. So then I will go ahead and judge. Yeah. So I just think that there were some points that were made that just were never countered strongly, like at all. Is that the mayor was actually the better villain of the movie itself, and I think if there's a person in the movie that's overshadowing the supposed villain in that movie, then I don't think that they can be the greatest villain ever. Whereas I think, and also, say that the Grinch is kind of sympathetic character, whereas the Wet Bandits aren't really. You don't root for them, and they're trying to take people's Christmases away. And just talking about, I loved hearing that. About the performances of either of all three characters, because they are all definitely great for sure. But I'm going to have to give my point to Jacob on this one. And so, yeah, and your winner of the match is Jacob Barber.
Hey.
Now, before we end this, I just want to say, I kind of actually messed up a little bit there. We were going to do a different question second, and I read the wrong one. I hope that didn't throw anybody off, but would you guys like to do that question anyways for fun?
You can say no. It's okay.
How about do?
If we don't do it, you can save it for a different.
Exactly,
different
save it
match.
for another season.
All right, so that's the nice way of me telling them they want to go home, guys. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and call it. If you were one of the few people that tuned in and watched this live, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Jacob, congratulations. Brian, congrats on making your debut. We will have you back at some point in the future for a proper match. But thank you both for being here. I'm going to go ahead and put you guys in the back, and I will go ahead. Chad, go ahead and close us out for the night.
All right. Do you want me to talk to the competitors?
No, we can just end it. Fuck it.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean,
you guys did a great job. Thank you for being here. We all want to go to bed right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that was a fun match. Just a short 2-question match. Good thing it was just for fun. Brian kind of got his feet wet there. Hopefully he'll come back and be able to run with it. He did a great job. Jacob did a great job too, just a slightly better job. So it was a fun match.
Absolutely. Chad, thank you once again. I know this didn't go the way we intended it. Yeah. But thank you for putting the effort in, and I absolutely look forward to seeing the rest of the questions that you wrote being sporadically given to our competitors. I'm sure the last thing they'll be expecting in a January record is a Christmas question. Right. So that'll fucking throw them off, but it is what it is. They're going to get to enjoy those questions. With that said, again, thank you to those of you watching, whether it was live or after the fact. I do appreciate you guys being here. We do have 2 more exhibition matches going up tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow we have a Wizarding World match going up between 3 great competitors, Jay Burns versus Amaru Moses versus Chris Diaz. Diaz, unfortunately, kind of stuck in the middle of those 2 heavyweights who are playing this match in preparation to play each other in the tournament. That match will go up the first week of January, but first they have this exhibition tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, we have a match celebrating the year that was 2021 in film. We have 3 competitors, Noah McCausland and JD Domash, return as competitors for that exhibition match. And kind of like how Brian made his debut tonight with this match, we have another debuting competitor in Will Cohen making his first appearance in that Thursday match. So that one is going to be one to see as well. Thank you guys. Please be sure to rate the video, comment, subscribe, and on behalf of all my other great producers, and especially tonight, Mr. Chad Kringle, thank you so much. And I will see you guys next time on the Movie Battleground. Take care, everybody. Do it, Chad.
Happy New Year's.